Welcome back to Open BxRx. COVID-19 has resulted in not only a stressful and heavy burden for hospital workers trying to assist patients in the Bronx, but also a lack of resources such as masks, gloves, and gowns. The Bronx Rising Initiative launched to help prevent and combat the COVID-19 outbreak in the South Bronx. Most recently, they've contributed $100,000 from donors and private companies and over 495 masks to Urban Health Plan, which serves 90,000 Bronxites. We're joined now by BRI founder, Bronx Rising Initiative founder, Tomas Ramos. Tomas, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for inviting
me.
me.
How are you? How's everything?
Everything's going well. Things are a little rough, just like everybody struggling, and we just don't know what is happening with this virus and what's the long-term effect in our communities. But we're here, and we guys gotta keep on pushing forward.
Absolutely. And I know that, you've started Bronx Rising Initiative. Just tell me, what made you realize that you needed to start this organization right now at this moment?
So when this virus started becoming serious, I sat down to myself, and as you all know, I am a candidate, and I'm just like, there's absolutely nothing I can do as a candidate when it has to do with actual passing policy, because I'm not an elected official. But there's other ways that I can get involved when it comes to private money, and that's when I started tapping into my network, and I just started making phone calls. Because right now it's important that our health clinics and hospitals have access to just cash when a crisis like this is happening. So I thought to myself, why don't I start an initiative where I connect basically private companies, private donors that have the resources and that are able and want to contribute to local hospitals and clinics, and just make two connections, and just making sure that we're able to bring those resources back into our community.
Now, I know that you started allocating funds in the South Bronx to the community during COVID-19. Can you just tell me about the two instances that you've already worked on, and the two relationships that you've already developed?
Yeah, so we started with local clinics. Local clinics, they're always in need of cash, and with a crisis like this, they're not well equipped at all for what's to come. So I identified Morris Heights Clinic, which is in the, I would say, the northwestern part of the Bronx, which they've been doing great work in our community, and we cut them a check for $100,000 just so it can help with any kind of issues that they had when it comes to cash flow. And then Urban Health, which has been a staple in the community for so long. They're a huge organization, over $100 million yearly, and they service so many people. So just giving them a check for $100,000 and allowing them to do anything they want, I believe gives them a little leeway in bringing in additional masks, resources, even payroll, anything they want, So that's why we were able to secure that money, and I believe that even though it's not a lot, it's something that will, just set the tone and help them in the time being.
No, it definitely will. And, when you visit these centers, what do you see the need is like? I know that a lot of, money isn't coming through these doors. So it's important for organizations such as your initiative to help and, be local. So how is the need being assessed in the South Bronx in particular, which you're postulating yourself for here in District 15?
This is a crisis that has never, this is a pandemic. It's never ever happened to this capacity in the last 100 years. No one knows what's going to happen, and no one is prepared for it. So even sitting down with the CEOs of the clinic, of these clinics, they just don't know, but they want to be as well prepared as they can be. Masks is one of the biggest issues. Lack thereof masks is one of the biggest issues that these clinics and hospitals have across the board. They don't have protective gear when they're literally serving people that are infested with coronavirus, and they're being exposed and not protecting their own nurses and doctors, which is extremely crucial in a pandemic like this. We need every single frontline worker to be healthy, and they need to be well equipped for this as well. So that's BRI's main agenda, is making sure that the clinics and hospitals have the right resources and are well equipped so that their own people don't get, sick, because this is just the beginning. I truly believe.
Right. And what is the message for Bronxites or the South Bronx? With, people are very worried right now, especially for the elderly, the youth. I mean, it's impacting everyone really, but like a message that you can send out to the community at this time to get to.
We all have to work together. We have to believe that everything's going to be okay, but we all have to stay home. Unfortunately, I've seen a lot of people not taking this seriously, and this is only going to delay the process. And people are carrying the virus and are not showing symptoms, and they think that they're okay, but they have parents, they have grandparents, and that's going to continue spreading, the virus. So we just have to trust the system, believe in, our governor has been doing a great job, but more so is come together as a community, because if we do not do so, it's only going to get even worse and worse, and getting, back on track after everything is said and done is going to make it that much harder.
Right. And Tomas, one last thing. Do you know what the next step is for Bronx Rising Initiative? I know that you're gathering, organizations that need the help. What's next?
Yes. So our next focus is major hospitals. So we actually already cut a couple more checks. These are major checks to 2 major hospitals in the Bronx. And this is to fully increase capacity through ICU beds. This is a major thing that the governor has been talking about, the major thing that the mayor has been talking about, increasing capacity to hospitals. So BRI has some amazing stuff coming up in the coming days, where we were able to increase capacity 25, 30, 40% with any given hospital that we were able to contribute these financial resources. What this does is make sure that when things get worse, that we do not lose lives because lack of ICU beds. So that's our main focus right now, is making sure that hospitals are well equipped and are able to increase capacities. So that is what I'm working on now, and you will be seeing more of that coming soon.
Got you. And if anybody's listening that can be a donor or can help this initiative, how can they get in touch with you?
So I do have a website, BronxRisingInitiative.com, and the email address is on the website, and they can reach out. I'm always looking for people that can contribute, even if it's a small amount. Everything adds up. Just like I said, the clinics were smaller amounts. The hospitals are going to be in the 7 digits, but everything counts and things add up. So BronxRisingInitiative.com. My email address is on there, and all the other details as well.
One last detail, my bad, Tomas. Let's say an organization or a small hospital needs help. Can they also reach out to you in order to maybe access these funds?
Yeah, no, they definitely can, because this is the beginning. We believe it's going to be 3-tier parts to this. We wanted to get it in front of it, where we're giving the resources so they're well equipped for when things the hospitals just start getting bombarded with patients. But then there's going to be a second tier, and there's going to be more help I would say probably a month from now. So yeah, it's reach out. Even if I can't get contributions today, I know that the companies that I'm working with are continuing to want to be involved in giving money to the Bronx. So yeah, reach out, and I'm going to continue working as hard as I can to make sure that the money that is needed in our community comes back to our community.
Right. Thank you so much, Tomas, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for the work you're doing to help the South Bronx through this tough time. And, for the folks out there listening, you can visit BronxRisingInitiative.com to find out more information. Open BxRx will be right back.